On Tuesday, the encrypted messaging service named Signal published a blog post explaining that they had bought ads on Instagram that would show users how they were targeted. And some of the examples of this are actually
They're
kind
pretty
of amazing.
spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're
Yep.
really great. I actually really like this.
I'm
The
gonna try
ads
and
were
click
done.
them.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try and click them. I'm
I
gonna
was gonna
do
try
it.
to find. The ads were done Mad Lib style. You'll hopefully see it soon with Facebook's ad targeting characteristics filling in the blank. So it would like describe you and the things that you're into. User would see an ad describing what Facebook knows about them, essentially, which is in a lot of cases, I suspect, quite accurate. After starting what appears to be a test campaign in their screenshot, Signal's ad account was disabled completely in the least surprising move ever. But none of them were able to get posted, which
There we go.
kind of blows. But I actually think that would have been really cool. That's an ad that I would actually probably like to see, you know?
This is great. So here's some examples. You got this ad because you're a newlywed Pilates instructor and you're cartoon crazy. This ad used your location to see you're in La Jolla. I don't know how to pronounce that. You're into parenting blogs and thinking about LGBTQ adoption. So there's a whole bunch of examples of exactly the kind of stuff that Facebook totally actually does know about you. You got this ad because you're a GP with a master's in art history, also divorced. This ad used your location to see you're in London. Your online activity shows you've been getting into boxing and you're probably getting there on your new motorcycle. It's funny to me because it's not even, I don't know why it's so shocking to read something like this. Like, Luke,
Yeah,
if you saw that in the side banner of your browser,
it would grab me for sure.
wouldn't you look at it and go,
Because
like,
there's a
what?
difference between being like, oh, I don't care, I don't have anything to hide, they can have my data, and having it actually all served back out to you from a third party and realizing like, oh,
Holy crap.
this
Not
is what they're doing with it. Like that makes me a lot more uncomfortable.
exactly. Like, you got this ad because you're a K-pop loving chemical engineer and you have a new baby and just moved and you're really feeling those pregnancy exercises lately. It's like, yeah, all of that is exactly the kind of crap that people would definitely post on Facebook and give it absolutely no thought whatsoever. Well, no, yeah, whatever. Who cares if people know that, like, I'm feeling my pregnancy exercises, except it's not the kind of thing that you would actually bring up necessarily in a conversation with strangers. Like if you went to your spouse's work barbecue, you know what I mean? You just,
If you're not okay telling the random person that's sitting across from you on the train,
yeah, that you're a Leo in Signal. Or it's Leo and Signal. Oh, sorry, excuse me. The ads were for Signal. If you're a Leo and single, you know, like if you wouldn't wear a shirt that says it on it, then
which some people would, to be fair, but
that's fair.
we're just giving the example.
But then maybe it isn't the kind of thing that you're actually comfortable with, even if you feel like you might be comfortable because you're not confronted with what the actual truth is of this information. I mean, honestly, I would love to get these ads and find out what Facebook thinks of me. I suspect that Facebook, Google, probably to a much, much lesser extent, Amazon, know pretty much all there is to know about me. Like mine would be something along the lines of, you got this ad because you're a tech bro and you have however many kids and you're super into reading fanfics of yourself and Luc Lafreniere. We don't really get that, but
some of those are pretty good.
Yep, some of them are, you know, most excellent, high literature. And for some reason, I don't care about it, but it would still be really unnerving to have. Like, I would almost feel like if I had that information on my screen and or like I'm at my computer, right? And my mom, you know, someone that I'm close to, but don't necessarily tell everything to, you know what I mean? And if my mom was sitting next to me, I would worry, what's the next banner ad gonna have in it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's an amount of depth of information that it's just because everything in that one was something, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm okay with this. Doesn't mean that the next one would be. I mean, Here's a really interesting one. You got this ad because you're a teacher, but more importantly, you're a Leo and single. So I already said that part. This ad used your location to see you're in Moscow. You like to support sketch comedy, and this ad thinks you do drag. It's like, okay, yeah, doing drag, whatever, to me. If you're in Moscow, that might not actually be the coolest thing for everyone to know. From like a safety perspective. I don't mean that I care if people dress in drag. That's totally up to them. But I'm not Vladimir Putin. So my opinion on that in Moscow doesn't quite matter as much as certain other people's do in terms of, making sure that you're safe and okay, right? So it's just, man, like, you got this ad because you're a certified public accountant in an open relationship. Like, I shouldn't say, how would they know stuff like that? Because, man, I know people on Facebook that post a lot of like really intimate details, actually, one about a lot of that kind of stuff, and just kind of don't think at all about what that might do to the kinds of ads that they're getting and like how they're profiled. And the thing is, like, contextual content on the internet, right? It has a way of even shaping you. I mean, we've seen that with the echo chamber effect in the extremely polarized political climate. The more that you get sort of pigeonholed as one of these or one of those, and
you're going to be fed more and more of that content,
more and more of that kind of content, to the
leads
point
to
where
extremism and everything else.
And I'm not going to say, you shouldn't be in an open relationship. That could be the coolest thing ever, and you could be having your best life. I'm just saying that it's not necessarily conducive to really, for realsies, making your own decisions if all of a sudden you have these tech giants that are going, this is who you are, and creating this positive feedback loop that might make it hard for you to gain a different perspective. And the same could go the other way. I really am not taking a position on that one. It's just it just feels like a disproportionate amount of power to give to someone who thinks it's chill to literally try to buy a Hawaiian island, Do you see that? Like, do you see that? Like, what even is that? How much of that Hawaiian island does he own now? And people are like, just going into it.
There's no issues with wealth equality at all. Buying like a large chunk of a continent is totally fine.
Okay, here we go. Mark Zuckerberg bought another 600 acres on Kauai, and Hawaiians are peeved off, is the headline. What Hawaiian island does Zuckerberg own? Yeah, owns, purchased close to blah, 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 and according to public records. Yeah, I don't know how much of it exactly they own. Part of the northeastern part of the Garden Island. Net worth is whatever. Bought 700 acres in 2014 for more than 100 million. Like, we're talking what, 1,500 acres at this point? Somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 acres. I can't even fathom like that much land. That you couldn't, in a day, you couldn't walk the entire thing. Not even close. You know what I mean? Like, how big is Disneyland? How big is Disneyland in acres? All right. Okay, Disneyland is 100 acres. So we're talking this enormous Hawaiian paradise that is over 10 times the size of Disneyland Park. And my favorite thing about this is how obvious it is. You know what I mean? Like, think about it, Luke. You're Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Your image right now is that you're some kind of lizard person who who doesn't really, fully understand human emotion. You just try to emulate it and, try not to get called in for congressional hearings too often so you can hang around and do whatever it is that you do in your hoodie. To be clear, I'm not mocking the CEO hoodie. I rock the CEO hoodie every day. I'm super down. Thank you, Mark, for normalizing it. Anyway, the point is, okay, how obvious it is, right? Everyone already thinks that you're some kind of alien overlord. So why not just buy a Hawaiian island and create a Doom Fortress? Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe
Mount
he's calling
Zuckerberg.
back to his lizard overlords, and he's saying, you know, like, we don't really need to invade. I can just slowly buy the planet. It's fine. It'll just happen over time. I'm going to start with one of the most attractive areas. It's fine. No worries.
Yeah, Navy Retired has another good one here. Bill Gates has almost half of the grazing land in the US. Yeah, Bill Gates is buying up farmland at just like an astonishing rate. You know, quietly doing philanthropy or whatever that is. But actually, you know, it's kind of funny how someone can be a career philanthropist and be richer today than they were when they retired from the head of one of the world's largest companies. Like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
How does this math work? How are you giving away money? How are you making money by giving away money? I don't think it works that way. The last time I gave away money, I'm pretty sure that I didn't get more back in return. That's not giving away money. That's an investment. That's not the same thing.
I had no idea this was a thing. Gates owns at least 242,000 acres of American farmland.
Something like that.
Holy
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a whole play into like smart farming or something, and it's all being messaged as like an investment in sustainability. But the thing about sustainability is that it can't be sort of at the at the will of someone who's in a position of kind of unfathomable power, right? Like I don't know.